From the cold vastness of space, our small planet may look pristine, but it is fragile and in peril. The Earth's global temperature is becoming more and more erratic and is rising to record highs. Some areas on Earth are more sensitive to a warming climate, and one is a giant island covered by ice, high on the Arctic Circle, Greenland. A very remote and complex Arctic environment between North America and Europe holds one of the world's greatest amounts of freshwater ice, second only to Antarctica. While all glaciers and ice sheets are essential to the survival of Earth's current climate, studying the science of Greenland holds one of the keys to better understand how humans impact this reserve of ice and how it can be better protected in the future. Join us on an exciting expedition to the Arctic isolation of Greenland, led by Dr. Perry Sampson. The team he has selected is a hand-picked group of adventurous and brilliant undergraduate students, 3 expert professors from the fields of solar, climate, and glacial science, and a wayward filmmaker trying to find his place on this adventure. As they prepare for the voyage of a lifetime, unlike anything they have done before, they soon realize this will not be an easy trip. In part 1, we meet the team, learn about the history of this special island of ice, how this expedition was dreamt up, and how it became a reality. Welcome to the new North Pole of the Winds.
My name is Perry Sampson. I'm a professor in the Department of Climate and Space Sciences and Engineering at the University of Michigan. Global temperatures are rising, and few would debate that. And as it happens, as global temperatures rise, it's not rising equally everywhere. The Arctic temperatures are rising faster than outside the Arctic, and Greenland is sort of the canary in the cage. They have a lot of ice that's located on land, unlike the ice in the Arctic Ocean, which melts. But when you start melting ice on land, it adds extra volume to the ocean, so it adds the sea level rise in a dramatic way.
Through my work at the Center for Academic Innovation, I've worked with Perry for a number of years, and he was always mentioning this expedition that he was about to propose to the National Science Foundation. It involved undergraduate students riding around in a C-130 with skis. It just sounded amazing.
We're at a point where we need more climate scientists, so give students the opportunity to get their hands dirty. One of our fundamental attempts in this was to bring in more students who are first-generation students who haven't had much opportunity to get out and travel, so that they could begin to get a sense for what this classroom material means when you're actually doing it.
You see the black dots on top?
I'm Mackenzie Zowell. I'm a senior here at the University of Michigan studying environmental engineering. When I was a little girl, my dream job for when I was older was to be an expedition leader. So when I saw the opportunity to go to Greenland on an expedition, my heart just kind of stopped. I was so excited, and I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to learn more about climate science, because that's something that I didn't really learn a lot about with my environmental engineering degree. So it was just another opportunity to learn more and to become more involved in the climate crisis.
So I am Mark. I am a senior here at the University of Michigan. I study aerospace engineering, so not necessarily directly climate related, but I was very excited to have an opportunity to start conducting some real life field research, as well as something that I'm fairly passionate about, which is the environment and how important that is. which is usually kind of odd coming from an aerospace engineer. We're normally focused on other planets and not necessarily our own, but of course, to get somewhere, we have to start from somewhere, so we need ours.
My name is Abby Meyer. I'm a computer science student. I wanted to go on the expedition because it was an expedition to Greenland, and I've always wanted to participate in environmental fieldwork, so this was an amazing opportunity to try my hand at fieldwork in the most amazing place, I think, in the world.
My name is Lydia. I'm currently a sophomore. I wanted to go because when else do you get a chance to go to Greenland and to get your hands in field research as a freshman? It doesn't happen. Now that I've been to the Arctic, I am definitely coming back.
We had an extraordinary group of students from the University of Michigan. Alec, Abby, Mark, Amaro, Lydia, Mackenzie, and Cheyenne. From the University of Albany, Allie, Celia, and Chelsea. From Virginia Tech, Ian, Gwyneth, and Celeste. Our faculty leads were Dr. Perry Sampson, Dr. Jeremy Bassis, Dr. Mark Flanner, and Dr. Bob Clower. This was our full team, and we were ready to go.
My name is Jeremy Bassis, and I'm an associate professor in the Department of Climate and Space Sciences. And I study how ice sheets and glaciers change in response to past, present, and future climate change. The University of Michigan has a historical presence in some of the original field campaigns to look at some geology and atmospheric conditions in Greenland.
They did sort of some of the first long-term meteorological recordings in Greenland.
So they left on a boat called the Morrissey, and it took them about 3 weeks to get there.
They were battered by storms throughout. And then when they got there, they had to set up camp. One of their ships sank, their primitive equipment broke down.
2 years they left somebody recording temperature pressure through a couple winters.
It's really inspiring to see how much science they got out of their expedition without the technology that we've been given today.
They also ventured out in the ice sheet a little bit. They were the ones who were using the theodolite and releasing weather balloons because that was what they had at the time.
Out of that multi-year expedition came some of the first results about the climate of Greenland, but also a book detailing the exploits of their adventure called The North Pole of the Winds.
Before we went on this trip, we read The North Pole of the Winds, which was written by Professor Hobbs.
I think the book gave an interesting framework to see the research we were doing now in.
I could also tell that it was very dated in comparison to now.
If we go back to the original 1926 campaign, it was all men, all white men, and all professors. And we want a more diverse cohort to be interested in polar science, to women, to underrepresented minorities, to people that maybe didn't really consider a career in polar sciences. And the way to get people to interested is to take them to this spectacular landscape and show them what it looks like, to show people how dramatic it is and how dramatic it's changing.